Hello, and welcome to the Gamer's Closet. I'm your host, Douglas Weed, and today we're going to be talking about the Yogi Bear game. The Yogi Bear game was manufactured by Milton Bradley in 1971. It runs for about 30 minutes of game time, is rated for 2 to 4 players, and is rated for ages 6 and up. But let's dig into it a little further, shall we? The Yogi Bear game was released in 1971 by Milton Bradley and later reprinted in 1980. In this game, Yogi and Boo Boo are at home in their cave. It's a nice day and the door is open. The aroma of fresh baked cakes and donuts drift through the open door. Yogi knew it came from Ranger Smith's headquarters and was determined to get a taste of those goodies. Boo Boo told Yogi he could get into real trouble if he tried to get them. Yogi said he would go alone, but Boo Boo knew that he would need to help his friend if he could. In this game, each player moves both Yogi and Boo Boo through many adventures to be the first to get to the ranger station and all of the treats that are there. This game does come with multiple pieces. It comes with a game box and board, comes with an insert with instructions, comes with 4 plastic player pawns in yellow, red, blue, and green, 4 wooden discs in yellow, red, blue, and green, and 1 red dice. The later edition did change the dice for a spinner. To set up this game, each player will take a large plastic pawn in a color of their choice. The pawns come in blue, red, green, and yellow. This large pawn is Yogi Bear. The player will also take a small wooden pawn of the same color. This pawn becomes Boo Boo. All players will place both of their pawns at the starting point. Roll the dice or spin the spinner depending on which edition you have, and the highest number goes first. Play then goes clockwise. The first player rolls the dice or spins the spinner depending on which edition you have and proceeds along the path using the Yogi plastic pawn, moving the number of spaces that the dice or spinner has shown. Others follow using the Yogi pawns and moving Yogi along. Once Yogi is on his way, Boo Boo can be moved along to follow him. The move that Boo Boo makes is also determined by the throw of the dice or spinner, but is counted as a turn. A player may move Yogi or Boo Boo in that turn, but never both in that turn. Whenever Yogi lands on the trouble spots, he must wait until Boo Boo arrives at that spot before he can advance. Boo Boo does not have to land on that spot by exact count. All spots marked with instructions to Yogi do not affect Boo Boo. Boo Boo counts these as another space. The first player to get Yogi to the Ranger headquarters wins the game. Well, this has been an overview of the Yogi Bear game. The Yogi Bear game is a game manufactured by Milton Bradley in 1971. The 71 edition, I think, is a better game because the theming on it is more on point. It has picnic tables, it has the nice scenery with it, it has bridges, it has a very nice park theme to it. The reprint edition in 1980 is a whiteboard with a few cartoon images on it, but I think it loses a lot of its theming. So I think the 71 version pictured here is a much better version of the game. They both play exactly the same, but I think thematically this one's a better version. That being said, the game itself runs really smooth. It's easy to play. It's a very standard 70s roll spin movement game. There's not a lot to it, not a lot of rules, so it's very easy to pick up. It's very easy to play. The game is very kid-friendly. It starts off at age 6 from the recommended from the manufacturer, and I think that's a good, safe bet. Like I said, it doesn't have a lot to do in the game. It is a really good starter game for kids. If you want to get them involved in gaming and you want to try something else, or you want to get them more involved with some of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, things like that, I think this is a really good choice. Like I said, thematically, it's a great looking game. The gameplay itself has a little bit of strategicness to it, because you have to move Yogi, but then you also have to move Boo Boo, but you can't move them both in the same turn, so you have to juggle who you're moving and where they're moving. So I think it's a very basic strategy game, even if you could call it that, but it has a few strategic elements to it, which I think will help newer players or kids learn, that can get involved with strategic games later. So it kind of gives a foundation to it. I'm really a fan, like I said, of the theming on this. It looks great. It's very on point. The game itself runs really easy. It's smooth. It doesn't have a lot of hiccups to it, so you can play it, but after a couple of rounds it kind of gets very tedious. So it's a nice breakaway game if you want to do an interesting retro game night, or if you want to just try something different. I would say take a look at it. The Yogi Bear game, it always, like I said, it's a nice, fun, retro feel, but it doesn't have a lot of meat or substance to it. So if you want to get kids involved with it, I'd say it's a really good option. If you want a nice retro, low-count player theme night, I'd say it's a nice filler option if you want to play something else with it. The game itself is pretty straightforward. Doesn't have, like I said, a lot to it. Goes online anywhere from about $20 to $30. It's not super difficult to find, and like I said, the 1980 reprint is the exact same game. It's just they only changed the board on it, and they got rid of the dice for the spinner. So other than that, there's not much in differences on the game itself. So if you haven't played the Yogi Bear game before, I would recommend taking a look at it. It's a decent game. There are way better games out there, but I would still recommend playing it because it's a nice change of pace compared to some of the other games that are out on the market, and it's not a very meaty, heavy game that makes you think a lot. It's not like those Euro games that are out now that have 10,000 pieces. It's a very basic game and a very compact package. So if you haven't played Yogi Bear before, I would recommend picking it up, and I would recommend playing this game. Well, that's it from us here at the Gamers Closet. We'd like to thank you for checking out our video on the Yogi Bear game from Milton Bradley. If there's a game in the future you'd like us to review or go over, please put it in the comments below. Please hit subscribe so that way you can be the first to check out our future content. And as always, please have a great gaming day.